Well, greetings and blessings to you all. I'm Pastor Stefan Kienberger from Peace First Lutheran Church in Astoria, and I'm here with my colleague,
Karen Sheldon, Rector of Grace Episcopal Church here in Astoria. And we're inviting you to join us for the next session of Sacred Ground with our combined congregations.
Yes, our leadership for both Grace Episcopal Church and Peace First Lutheran underwent the Sacred Ground training this past year, and they found that it was so important, so enlivening, enlightening, that it needs to be shared. And so we're asking you to join with us in this Sacred Ground training.
You're going to hear from some of the people who did Sacred Ground training in just a few seconds, and you'll hear that they were surprised by their experience. It was participatory for them. It wasn't just open head and pour in information. It was an opportunity to engage with our neighbors and have really deep discussion sparked by watching films. The homework is mostly watching documentary films and learning enlightening things, but there are also great articles to read. And then we come together one Sunday afternoon a month for about 4 hours to share a meal and talk about what we've experienced and what's been inspiring to us.
And as the title says, Sacred Ground, we are going to learn about the peoples who have been here in our lives, under our feet, so to speak, in Astoria, the indigenous people, the Chinese, Asian Americans, the immigrants like our congregations are made up of as well from Europe. And we're going to learn some hard truths also about what has happened under our feet here in Astoria. But it will be enlightening and enlivening, as I said, and we know that you will benefit from it and through it and be inspired.
It's our special obligation to do this work as communities of faith, because it was communities, particularly Christian communities, who led the way in settling this continent and who have the greatest responsibility now to make amends.
Sacred Ground provided me the opportunity to learn a lot of history in our state and in our nation that I was not fully aware of, while giving me a chance to listen to other people's input and also kind of recognize my own biases and create some plans for changing how I am in the future.
Hi, I'm Charlie Clayton from Grace Episcopal Church. When we first agreed to do Sacred Ground training, I thought, oh no, not more race relations training. I'd been doing that since the late 60s when I was in the Air Force. But this was not that. This I would call more the history of the United States, as Paul Harvey would describe it. This is the rest of the story. The videos, the readings, so interesting, so fascinating. Matter of fact, I think if you take the course, at the end you'll think, when does season 2 of Sacred Ground come out? I was expecting, here are things that you shouldn't say, and here's how you need to be polite around people of different races and so forth. I did not expect a history to show how we got where we are today. The discussions were interesting because it was different perspectives from people from 2 different religious backgrounds, but people that had lived in different places all over the United States, and their perspectives were different. I think we were all surprised to learn about the things that had occurred in the areas where we grew up that were not as we thought they were. It didn't surprise me at first until I realized the attitudes that had gone on since the founding of Astoria towards people from Finland or Norway or Sweden, just amongst themselves, but also attitude towards the multitude of Chinese people and Native Americans that were in this area, and how we, the white people, treated them.
Hi. I'm going to take my mask off. Okay. So why did I go to the Sacred Ground thing? For knowledge. I have 3 children, they're a mixed race, Filipino, Black, and Indian, Native American. And any knowledge I can get to help them, I'm willing to go and learn. So the answer was knowledge.
So I think it's always important to question attitudes and opinions that may be apparent and not apparent. And one of the great things that I enjoyed about my exposure to this is that it allowed me to question things that I've held in my heart and think a little deeper about that. I think it's very important for us as a church community to be able to have that moment of questioning and making sure that our intentions are lined up with what we truly believe.
Yeah, my name is Ove Rasmussen. I'm the treasurer for Peace First Lutheran Church, and I participated in the Sacred Ground curriculum, and I found that it very helpful. The curriculum was very helpful in defining in a broader context who my neighbor is. And typically we think of our neighbor as just the people in our community, but it's really a broader community of people in our world. And the Bible definitely teaches us to look after the stranger, look after the immigrant, look after the orphans, look after the widows. Those are our neighbors too. So taking the curriculum has just given me a broader view of my neighbor.
Hi, I'm Brenda Penner from Grace Episcopal. You know, gaining perspective through life is truly essential, and Sacred Ground changed my perspective. I gained so much new history and new knowledge. It was truly impactful to me.
My name is Richard Balkins. I'm one of the council members of Peace First Lutheran Church, and I took the curriculum of the Sacred Ground with the other council members, and it has taught me a lot of things about who our neighbors are and the challenges and struggles some of them face in our society. And it certainly provides a lot of insight into many challenges and issues that has plagued our society, especially with issues of racism and some of the institutional biases that we have developed. And I recommend people to take the curriculum and to learn more about the issues that we face as a community, as a neighbor, and to learn about who our neighbors are.
The opportunity, it was very nice to have the opportunity to participate in Sacred Ground with Grace Episcopal this last year. For one thing, I got to know even more people at Grace. So it was, like-minded people reading the same books about race and history, just all this history that we have in this country. And it was just, and you had people to discuss it with. So it was just very invigorating. And, and I found myself reading still other books as a result of the things we read in this, or those videos. The videos were really well done. You're never done. You just keep on reading, and there's always something that you learn. And it's just amazing, the things that are never talked about or were never talked about. They're just starting to be talked about. But it needs to be done. The thing I liked about Sacred Ground is it's done in a positive form, in a positive manner, where, okay, we're all learning about this together, and, you can't change the past, but you can go forward with a positive attitude that you can all work together. And I think that's probably the most important thing I brought away from Sacred Ground, besides reading a whole lot of interesting books.
Sacred Ground is a wonderful program, and what it does is it brings people together, and it brings people together over difficult subjects. And I learned so much, and I really hope you sign up.
So it's our privilege to address you here from Surging Waves and to invite you to contact the people at both congregations. At Peace First Lutheran, if you call the church office or write, Greg Lindstrom, our parish administrator, will gladly put you on the list and give you more information.
And at Grace, you can reach out to me, Karen, rector at graceastoria.org.
All right, so are you guys feeling ready to go?
Sure, we'll give it a go.
Let's say one of you needs to be a little taller. No, I'm only.
he's kidding.
I'm kidding. I'm just